Welcome guys to a new video. I know what you guys are thinking. Wow, he uploaded. Well, shut up. I got exponentially more homework than last year. And on top of that, online school ends up being a giant frick you as well. Because sometimes you have other kids' schoolwork as our homework. So yeah, that sucks. Okay, so I was pandering as to what content I should make. And I thought, hey, I should make a commentary about me. A video that my audience will be able to watch and think, yeah, that is relatable. So the question was, what? Like maybe activities, something that lets people know what type of person I am, something that everybody can relate to. That's right, everybody. I will be talking about how I almost freaking drowned in a water park. Okay, so this was before I'd moved to America, and I think I was like 2. Actually, that's not true. See, the thing is, I feel like as soon as you enter your teens, you feel like everybody whose age is below 2 years is immediately at the age of 2. Anybody else think that? No? Alright then. So I think I was actually 6 to 9, I actually genuinely can't remember. But I was on a trip with a bunch of friends to a water park, and if you've been to a water park, you're probably gonna understand what I'm talking about. So you guys know like those tube rides that you just go in and like float around in, and also the wave pool where you try to stay afloat while artificial waves crash against your body? Well, the ride that I went on was like an amalgamation of the two on crack. Okay, so like you'll be floating around aimlessly 1 second, and on the next second, a giant 6 feet tall wave yeets you across the pool. So I was at the time a pretty good swimmer, so I didn't need a tube, but I was too short, so I still had to use a tube. So I was in the tube, and everything was fine. Then the first wave hit, and I was still fine for the most part, except for one crucial component. Because the wave was so strong, it actually made me fall through my tube, but like, not completely. Okay, it's hard to explain, but I was in this awkward position where I was no longer, like, on top of the tube, but, like, I basically had fallen through the tube, but, like, because my, life jacket was so stiff, my hands were just, like, tied up, or at least suspended in midair, and it was preventing me from completely falling into the tube, and so it basically made, like, it basically got my face, like, stuck halfway underwater, and so the problem is, because the tube is moving, it sometimes causes like the water to like level up sometimes, and when that happens, I can't breathe. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be someone in the comments saying, why didn't you just climb the tube? Well, I tried, but at the time I didn't do any upper body related sports other than like, I guess, swimming. But I always relied more on my legs when swimming anyways, because I used to play soccer. As a consequence of this, my upper body muscle mass at the time was basically equivalent to that of a clam. So no, I couldn't just climb out of it, nerd. Naturally, I screamed for help, and my mother and a kind woman tried to get the tube off me, but they couldn't because I was constantly moving. Like, I mean, I was terrified, but like, I most likely still would have been fine, even with like the water constantly like preventing me from being able to breathe. It wasn't like I was like completely underwater like 90% of the time, so it's probably fine. But this is where the waves come into play. Okay, so how do waves work is that like a decent amount of water gets basically sucked into like a vacuum type of thing, and like a couple seconds later it like yeets the water out and also yeets you in the process. So naturally, because of my bad luck, I basically got sucked into where the vacuum was. Well, I mean, I didn't get like completely sucked in because like there was a gate, so that was good, and that was good. I didn't get completely sucked in because there was a gate. But okay, just think about it from my perspective. So because the tube is around me, I basically can't see, and all of a sudden I start like moving backwards, and then I stop all of a sudden, and like a couple of seconds later, a massive 6 feet tall wave just crashes into you. So you can imagine my terror as all of a sudden I start moving backwards, then get stuck, and like 5 seconds later, a giant wave crashes down onto you, being like I'm gonna end your entire career. So because of this, I'm then completely underwater and completely messed up pretty much. And I don't even want to know how much water I ended up drinking then. So after the wave actually cleared, there was another problem. The point blank mini tsunami had basically pelted me into the tube even more, and I still was sort of above water in terms of my nose, but like it made me like go even deeper into the water, so I kept on going underwater more of the time. Now you're probably wondering where the hell the lifeguards were during this. Well, the ride was underneath the tunnel for like the most part, so they couldn't see me anyways. But like when we actually decided to like get out of the tunnel part, there was like a lifeguard right there, and my mother started yelling at them, saying to like, save the poor drowning kid. And oh my god, the lifeguard was like, oh no. Anyways, and kept on like yelling me to put this tube back on. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock, that's what I've been trying. You don't think I tried? That's like the most obvious thing any sane person would try. I mean, albeit I was definitely not this blunt, because I was like, I don't know, I was an innocent child that did not be mean. But anyways, the lifeguard was the most useless thing to ever exist, other than the golden hoe in Minecraft. So, long story short, I did not die. That's good. Or bad, depending. Because a bunch of high school boys actually managed to get the tube off me. Wow, they were actually a rare subspecies of high school boys that actually don't, like, want torture of other children. After that, I did go off, like, completely safe. And I probably threw up. I definitely drank more than a liter of water during that time. So yeah, near-death experience with drowning in a place where it's supposed to be all fun and games. So in conclusion, I learned nothing from this encounter, as almost every year, I still go to water parks. Subscribe, nerds!